Fox 13's Good Day. Local for you all morning long.
The saga continues today. 5 days ago, the Cincinnati Zoo shot and killed a gorilla to save the life of a little boy. Now, you've likely seen the video by now. This 3-year-old boy who fell into the gorilla's habitat, being dragged around by his legs, but then taken in the next. The public outcry has been sharp and angry in the days since. Anger at the parents that allowed their boy to get into the habitat in the first place. Now, police investigated the parents as a source. They have said that has been wrapped up, but the key here is that this is now up to the prosecutor's office to decide now whether to press charges. That decision is expected by tomorrow. And we have attorney Dale Appell here right now to talk about this. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Thanks for being with us. All right, so what do you make of this situation? You said that had there not been such a public outcry, none of this would happen.
I don't think there would have been an investigation. I don't think the prosecutor's office would be considering this as a criminal charge. I think it was the public outrage that caused them to at least begin the investigation. My thought is that there's standards that have to be met in order for the prosecutor's office to say, you know, there's reckless endangerment of the child here, which is a criminal violation, and that we should move forward with this. And I don't think it rises up to that standard. I think a mistake was made, a horrible mistake with a significant tragedy, but it doesn't rise up to a criminal type of charge that can be made by the prosecutor's office.
All right, let's talk about some of those parameters.
Yes.
What would need to be, what would have had to happen here for there to have been a crime committed?
I think that there would need to be some type of foreseeability of what happened, or there would have been intentional disregard for the well-being of the child. I think the evidence here suggests that didn't happen. You know, the witnesses are saying that, you know, the child said he was going to go into the area. The mother said no. I think afterwards on the 911 call from the mother to the 911, I think you can hear in her voice of the distress. If the parent had done something different, if the parent encouraged the kid to go into the gorilla's area, if the parent had held the child over the barrier and dropped the kid, I mean, there's certain situations where you say, you know, that's foreseeable, that's intentional,
right.
The disregard, that's criminal. But here it appears it's just a mistake. It's like running a red light and somebody dies. It's a tragedy, but you just made a mistake in running the red light, unless someone proves that you actually were drinking and driving and ran a red light, and then that's foreseeable, that's an intentional disregard, and then they can bring criminal charges against you.
Or intent, for whatever reason, to hit that particular person, right? Okay, so we know that the mother of this child is an administrator at a daycare, and there's been a lot of talk about a DCF investigation.
Yes.
Apart from the criminal one. How could this affect her? Could she lose her job whether or not she's found guilty or negligent in the DCF investigation?
She can for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is that she's not a protected class. I mean, you know, if the daycare says, you know, this is getting too much attention, other parents are concerned about you, we're reading about social media, we don't want to be on social media as a daycare that has you working for us, they have a right, unless there's a contract, to let her go, which would, you know, be unfortunate perhaps. But she's not protected from that. So regardless of what happens on the criminal side, she may possibly lose her job, not because of the investigation by DCF or not because of criminal charges, but just because the facility says this is getting too much immediate attention. Just like that dentist who killed Cecil the Lion, his practice was shut down by all the protests and outrage.
Wow. It's an interesting situation. It has us all so conflicted for so many reasons. Dale, thanks so much for being with us. We need to get back to the newscast right now. But remember, the Ask a Lawyer numbers are at the bottom of your screen. They're going to be here for about the next 15 minutes. So call now if you have legal questions that need to be answered. We'll get over to you right now, Dave Osterberg.